Welcome back to the channel and to the new Park Who Dis contest. Each and every submission gets its own spotlight, and today we are looking at Dr. Watt's Emporium by Caffeine Addict 98. Today I'm joined by Cockwaddle. Cockwaddle is the founder and supreme overlord of the Good Nice Planet Coaster community and one of the most popular Planco streamers on Twitch. Hello, Cockwaddle.
Hello again, Moomy.
Hello again. What is this? This must be what, our sixth one now, maybe? Sixth, seventh?
I just keep finding you around these parts, yeah.
I know. Just keep bumping into each other. Well, it's lovely to have you back again.
It's lovely to be back.
In fact, actually, this will make zero sense to anybody else because this is, in fact, your first spotlight. In terms of the order these are coming out, this is your first one. So hello, Cockwaddle, and welcome to New Park Who Dis.
I've gone back in time.
You have. Incredible. Done the whole thing backwards. So, Caffeine says, an eccentric millionaire bought Radyr Valley and turned it into a place of power, utilising Wales's natural coal sources to power the park. The park focuses on his love of all things steampunk and Victorian. While showcasing his idol, Nikola Tesla, the park also highlights key aspects of steampunk, from gears to electricity to unusual modes of transport. I decided to take a more industrial-style approach to the steampunk theme, thinking of the park as a Victorian industrial estate with a steampunk overlay. As a large portion of steampunk is based on electricity, I immediately knew I wanted to include Nikola Tesla in some way, resulting in the theme for the dark ride. Very exciting. So, as always, starting with piece count.
Let's do this.
Which is 39,370, so pushing its way up there to the 50k limit, but perfectly respectable. This is Park Variation Bravo, which means we've got the Cascade, the Spinning Coaster, the 360 Power, and the Zozo, giving us the steampunk theme. We of course have at least one coaster, we have a dark ride over here, and the Swan is still in position. So a few things to point out before we hop down on the ground. The car park layout has changed, which is very interesting. We've got some EV parking, disabled parking here instead. This used to run down this way instead, but nice variation there. We've got the emergency vehicle parking here. We've got a lovely roundabout sign, and something else I spotted, which is a fantastic detail, I have to say. This bus here is painted to the Cardiff bus livery. Obviously this is a Welsh park, just outside Cardiff, so the attention to detail there I'm very impressed with.
That is, yeah, okay. That's very impressive right from the off, I love that.
But here we are down on the ground, and I'm absolutely loving these sightlines already. It's just so many different angles. I'm loving the sloped roof here. You've got this incredible structure here, and this.
Wowie zowie, that makes a statement right from the off. Oh, that's so nice.
I loved this description, going with the Victorian steampunk theme. I'm already getting those vibes immediately. And on top of the car park layout changing, the admin buildings change. We've got a brick wall here. I know it's only minor things, but it's nice to see the park in a different light, where they would definitely, as they were doing a full refurbishment of the entire park, they would probably look at the car park as well. So I've got an interior as well.
Ooh. Oh, this is pretty extra mile. Okay.
Love some TMTK, don't we?
We do.
Is this the security and admin? And first aid. I was going to say, this is looking very first aid in here, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah.
But we've been outside for far too long, so let's head in. The doors are closed, Cockwaddle. What are we going to do?
Oh, never mind. Episode's off.
Yeah.
Yep. See you next week. Cheers.
We'll headbutt our way through. Smash. Again. Brilliant details here. I didn't go to this much detail. I just closed some shutters. And here we are.
Wow, this is really nice and open, but then with some really striking sort of visual pointers. Like the top hat itself, that's such a smart little idea.
It almost makes me think like this is the top hat of the eccentric owner that bought this park.
Yeah, indeed. Could be a sort of park logo as well, couldn't it? That hat.
Yeah, true. That'd be really good. Which way would you like to head first?
My eye has already been caught by the left, that coaster coming out of the tower. Look at that for beautiful timing.
What a first drop. Before we get there, we do have a little Cycola here on the left. Nice, cleanly integrated. Great flower beds.
Very clean.
Oh, we've got some train tracks.
Oh, I'm seeing trip hazard. Trip hazard first and foremost.
Where are the hazard trips? Come on now.
Indeed.
No,
This
that's
is
nice.
this is a Moomin thing, you know. Come on, you got to get these
Yeah.
details.
No, I mean, can you imagine actually trying to get the hazard strips to line along that curve? That would be impossible.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare. Yeah, forget that.
But yeah, in terms of actual like interactivity, even though it's not functioning, just it gives something to break up the path.
It does. Yeah, that's a really it's quite a unique idea having go straight over the path. I like that.
It draws your eye across to here where the train's being loaded, which is then part of the skin for this cascade. So yeah, beautifully tied in.
Perfect.
Got some overhead. Is this a viaduct or?
I suppose so. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
a
It is. Yeah.
Coal chute.
That's it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. Come on, Cockwaddle, you're the historian. Give me information.
Sorry. You're right. You're right. I need to be. Yeah. I need to be on it for this one. Sorry.
This is brilliant. We've got a splash zone here, but he's put in some protection.
Ain't that sweet? So you can get splashed without really getting splashed.
Exactly. If you walk here, if you're feeling adventurous, but if not, like this guy, he's having a great time. Perfectly dry.
This guy's. Oh, he's loving it.
Automation with some lovely custom media there.
Yeah, that is a really good. I love when people make their own little ride logos and stuff. It's really nice.
It just adds a little touch of something, doesn't it? So that's actually just for the Psychola. So nice long queue for that. Over here, weirdly without a ride sign, I assume is our cascade.
Here we go.
I love this corrugated iron.
Yeah, that's a really nice piece of TMTK.
Oh, over the station. That's nice.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, always like going over the station. That's cool.
Nice. Around here, loving these chimney stacks as well.
Wow, this is such close interaction with the theming. It's really nice.
It is. Yeah. Get a bit toasty here by the furnace.
Yeah, warm your hands before you get on the road. It's nice.
Yeah, why not? You didn't need it in Wales.
Certainly. Inhale some industrial fumes while you're at it.
Yes. Fossil fuels. Without further ado, time for a cascade.
Have a splash.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. The thing for me was just the amount of interaction with so many different parts. Like, there's so many effects all the way throughout. With you got your water, you got the furnace in here with the fire, the covered lift hill through this magnificent structure. You got interaction under itself. You go through these rings here. Just yeah, endless. I'm just gonna say it again, endless interaction, and I loved it. And in terms of the layout, again, fantastic. You got two lift hills, really making use of this space, and brilliant track length.
Definitely, yeah. It really strikes me as the kind of ride where he's had a real vision of it before he's even got started. You know, so everything is not just tightly packed, but it's really well organized so that you get really particular views at certain points through the ride, which is really nice. And might I say also, probably the smoothest coaster that I've seen for this contest so far. Like very obvious 4 meter method smoothing. It's actually, it runs around some very tight corners like really nicely. So credit for that, I think. Yeah, some really good set pieces and stuff in that, and it felt very realistic as well. There's obviously going to be some Fantasia Land kind of in comparisons, but I thought it had a real sort of Efteling kind of feel to it. It was really well committed to the theming, so nice.
I completely agree. And Caffeine did mention that he did actually use the realism mod for his coasters, so he clearly is a bit of a coaster head, and that clearly has paid off here.
Definitely.
Oh, and the other thing I do want to have a little peek at is he's done a poet, I think.
Oh no, no, please no.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
That is 1,500 pieces of coal.
Good
There we go. I mean, it looks fantastic, so can't complain too much. Wowie, look at this.
It's such a
Cable
nice
car.
feature. So that's obviously going to be non-functional, right? Because it's it's a train car turned upside down, I think, isn't it?
No, so that is
okay.
all TMTK. This was quite a hefty download, I must say, when I got it, but when it's used so well like this, it's definitely worth it.
That really is. That's such a nice little feature. Just gives the impression of the park having a little bit more depth than you can actually put into the game. Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly,
yeah, that's really nice.
So this is where Big Bite was before, and you can see kind of elements of the layout and the angles from before, but completely changed. And got Carbon Coffee downstairs. Take a little peek in here.
That's very smart. You can't get the staff these days.
You literally can't. This easily could have just been a shop front, but he's gone to the effort of doing a full interior here, which is fantastic.
Fair play to that. And also, I mean, I was going to say having its own custom toilets. And I also really liked that the seating faces the water feature of the cascade. That's really nice.
That's a great view. Oh, we got a lift behind here.
Oh, bit of accessibility features there.
Ooh, I'm loving these the dark colours in here with the gold.
That is really nice. It gives a very sort of Art Deco but industrial feel to it. Yeah, that's a nice mix.
And there's the upstairs to the lift, the elevator, I should say, for those Americans watching.
Well, speaking of Americans, these are apparently restrooms, are they? Oh, I see.
Exactly. Yeah, no toilets here, just restrooms. Ooh, little veranda. Would you call this a veranda? I don't know.
I would call this a veranda.
Yeah.
It's very tastefully done, I would say.
It took my structure that was it just had two stairs going up to it, but this is you can just feel that you can go anywhere. Little places to explore. This little alleyway we just came down. Brilliant stuff. A little gravel pathway here.
Oh, very nice.
It's very, very novel. Something that only we can use and the guests can't.
That's a Tegid Cam specialty
Exclusive.
there.
Yeah. These there's just no sense in ever skinning them, is there? Really? Because what can you do to this? Really?
I know. It's exactly. I've always wished that they would like let you do your own thing with that a little bit. It goes a bit overboard with the in-game dodgems, but to be fair, they do have a bit of a little bit of a Victorian English feel to them. Dodgems themselves, you know what I mean? So it fits well with this park in particular.
It does. They are very vintage style. So yeah, as you said, blends in perfectly. But we do have custom fencing here, but you would easily assume that this was just part of the ride because that just blends in perfectly. Seamless. Heading around this way should be our dark ride. Oh wow, straight view into the the station there.
Oh yeah,
that's quite a nice element really. If you're walking past, it draws you in.
Yeah, that's quite cheeky. I think this is a TMTK wall they've used on the building, isn't it?
I think it must be, yeah. Yep. Looking like this park is 80% TMTK.
Just how you like it.
Oh yeah, my computer's loving it. House of Tesla. And
Lovely.
T Tesla, which is the Welsh.
That's a really good font choice, I think.
It is, yeah. That's the thing I'm noticing overall is Caffeine's style is just very seamless. As I said a minute ago, it just nothing looks out of place.
Indeed, yeah, with a bit of a designer edge to it. It's nice.
Nice slim queue. Oh wow.
Oh, look at that. That's what you want from like a Tesla-based ride, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, if your theme's going to be electricity, what more could you want?
Absolutely.
We will be jumping the fence into the station and hopping on our dark ride.
Well, I thought that was one of the strongest ones I've seen. I really, really enjoyed that. Lighting was huge for that one because it did a lot of very, very dark rooms where you couldn't quite get a glimpse of the sort of mysterious machinery that you're getting a look at. But all of these like pops of bright color in the darkness were really, really powerful. It was like quite successfully spooky that I've been seeing like quite a few times in this contest now, where dark rides are pulling off like really impressively spooky atmospheres. And even though it's just about this sort of slightly eccentric scientist, I thought it carried a lot of mood to it. And I really liked that touch towards the end where you go sort of through his bedroom, you see his pet pigeon that he had a strong relationship with, you know, nice little touches that showed some close knowledge of Nikola Tesla. So yeah, really successful ride, I thought.
It was kind of an assault of the senses at some point, but in like a good way. Like this room here, like you just didn't know where to look because it just utilized these these items so well. You felt like you were just kind of like flying through all of this machinery, and I was thinking all the way through that it felt like you were going through Nikola Tesla's workshop where he's trying all these experiments out. And then as I was having that thought, we did, as you said, ended up in his bedroom with him sat at the office, which is just beautiful in here. This
yeah, really well designed.
A treat on its own.
It is. I liked that it was also quite believably low budget. You know, most of the rooms were largely unadorned other than the actual set pieces there, but then those are things that you can cover up with low lighting, which is exactly how dark rides tend to work. So that was a really good attention to detail.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret from when I did the BFG that I'm a big fan of this chipboard. Big shout out to My Curious Mind who created it, and he actually did me a huge solid because this is only a 2 meter square. And I just said to him in passing, do you think you'll ever make a 4 meter version because I use it so much? And he said, let me do it now. So that is now on the workshop. You can get a 4 meter version of the chipboard. So
just an example of the sway that you have in the Planet Coaster community movie.
Oh yeah, sure. This is fantastic. Well, I'm guessing this
yeah, I was going to say the sequencing there is really, really tight. I love that.
Oh
yeah, my goodness! What?
He's used a part of a coaster here. Yeah, in Descent 4 and in Descent 3. Yeah, I think that's
oh
the.
Oh my goodness!
Is the zoom one?
Oh, the zoom. Yeah, the ride that zooms and it zooms.
Such a creative use of that.
That's really smart. I also wanted to draw attention to the machines that are just in the next room. If you keep going the way the track is going, the tops of them have been made with the giant donuts, and he's just recolored them black.
Oh yes.
You can faintly see the sprinkles.
That's fantastic. Oh yeah, just on the top. There they are. Yeah, so such creative and clever use of the items in this ride. Brilliant work. So that was House of Tesla. Firefly. What do we have here?
So this is our Woody, is it?
Potentially. Which is, once again, seamlessly integrated here. I didn't even notice it. Yeah, look at that.
Wow. That's really nice. That's so close to the visitors. That's lovely.
Flying over here.
Flying like a firefly. Hey. Hey.
Oh goodness.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
Horrendous. Let's hop on this ride called Firefly, which is a wooden Nala. Once again, I thought this was fantastic. I think it felt very appropriate for the era that Caffeine was going for. Very fitting. I liked that it felt a bit kind of janky, as it would, but it was great fun. Short and sweet, but a great replacement for Radyr Valley that was here before.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the traditional out and back layout, but with I thought sort of a decent level of modernization in how much it sort of banks smoothly and stuff. Again, it's just like the Cascade in terms of the smoothing. It's got a really nice sort of sheen to it that he's clearly done with 4-meter technique and stuff. So it runs super nicely, and it's one of those rides where you don't need to go too crazy with the theming. As long as it's going past some key points, it gives an impression of the era, especially with all the wooden scaffolding that you get with Woodies. It felt very authentic without needing to cover all the track. And as you were just pointing out there, yeah, always good to see realistic transfer tracks and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's got plenty of really strong features. I like it.
And not only a transfer track, he's thought about the logistics of it. So once it's in the shed, it's then got direct access onto this wide path if they needed to remove the coaster. So behind us, we've got our 360 power, and oh my goodness, look at this. This is Aviator. Just such a simple idea of shoving the cogs on here, but it blends so well with the existing ride that I don't know, it feels like a skin in itself.
Yeah, it does.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to do a great deal to make it really effective. And I love these slightly askew smokestacks. It's almost like sort of industry gone mad, you know, with the fire bursting out at strange angles. That's a nice sort of wacky touch. I like it.
And even here, I didn't even notice this. I'm pretty sure this is, unless I've gone mad.
Yeah, those are the iron
pieces.
pipes. Yeah.
So skinning it, making you think that's the normal support, but then when you notice it juts off here to the side, it's a bit jarring, and I like that. Under this pipe. Analog. These queues are so long, I don't know what they're all linked to.
Indeed, this is a park ready for high traffic, you know.
It is indeed.
Yeah, I mean, this is the flat ride you... yeah, I was going to say, the flat ride you want, you know, first and foremost, if you're doing steampunk. It does a lot of the work for you.
Oh, it just comes ready skin for steampunk, doesn't it? But it's so bizarre that they give you this ride, but then don't give you the facilities for any other type of steampunk theming, really.
No, indeed. You just have to work around it.
Caffeine has perfectly demonstrated here that you don't need it. You can just get a very creative TMTK helping massively.
Indeed, and I like that they've added a lot of foliage and plantage around it, which isn't probably the first thing that people would think to do in an industrial kind of theme, but actually the pops of color work really nicely against the sort of dark browns and blacks that you're going to need for the factories and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think color-wise, that's a nice touch.
Absolutely, it would look extremely bleak if it wasn't for the foliage. So, as you said, a great pop of color. This is my bridge from before. Yeah, it is, but it's been completely reskinned. Something I've noticed as well is I'm enjoying that I'm kind of losing my bearings in this park, even though the layout is essentially the same. You can see the existing elements from Radyr Valley. It's feeling very different at the same time, and I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, I like the commitment to the refurb.
We've got our Zozo here, another very steampunk ride.
Ornithopter?
Ornithopter. Interesting.
I see. Well, orni means bird, and then thopter. Well, okay, yeah. So it's like flight, you know, flight machine.
It's an amalgamation of the two, but it works. And a lovely shot of the coaster in the background there.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited already for that.
Lawrence Force. And he's saying no, but I'm probably going to ignore him. But I have to say this is a fantastic use of space, because before this was a dead end. You came up onto the plaza, it had the our flat ride Daffodil, and that was it. So to have something else leading off of it is great. But what is it, is the question.
Oh, it's some more sort of verticality that's been used with the ride queues. I like that you can sort of look down as you're walking across. That's just gives it that extra level of anticipation for the ride.
And here we are. And it's a coaster. Cogs.
Oh, I love the sound of that for one thing. That's it's almost like the ticking of a clock. It's so, I love it. So much atmosphere.
I'm very excited for this, so let's hop on.
Let's jump on.
Okay, so unfortunately, me and Cockwaddle just spent the last 10 minutes trying to make this coaster work. As I mentioned before, Caffeine did use mods to make this coaster, and that means that unfortunately it is not working. Essentially what's happening is it gets to this point in here, goes up this launch, but doesn't make it back down. We've tried changing the launch speed, we tried removing some of the brakes, we played with friction settings, nothing is making it happen, and it got to a point where any more adjustments and it wouldn't have been Caffeine's coaster anymore, it would have been our coaster. So it's a real shame, because it looks fantastic, and if I can find a way of showing this in the future, I definitely will. Yeah, judging from how it looks and from the previous coasters we've ridden, I imagine this would be a fantastic one.
Yeah, I echo the disappointment, because I just love the look of this so much. It's got a really it's got a nice ominous feel to it, and you can tell it's got a lot of intensity and packs a lot into a small area. It's got a bit of a smiler feel to it maybe, and yeah, it looks like there's just some mod thing that hasn't quite translated to the standard version of the game, which is a shame, because it had quite a unique vertical launch that I really wanted to work. But yeah. It is what it is. You can clearly tell that the time and effort's been put into making a really good, unique coaster. But so hopefully people can see it in some capacity down the line.
Absolutely. But this is the reason why I said in the rules to not use mods, as I will not be making any changes afterwards. And unfortunately, this is a prime example of why that rule is there. So massive apologies to Caffeine and to everyone watching, but this is our view of the ride. But moving on, we've got another coaster, which fingers crossed it works fine, and it seems to be running absolutely fine. So this is our spinner called Clockwork, which is a great name.
I really enjoy how this ties in with the sort of adjacent coaster. The tracks overlap and they share theming, which would be cost effective for one thing, but it also just gives you a really nice level of interaction with the other ride.
Ooh, and the stairs wrapping around this chimney. That must have been difficult.
Pretty smart. Yeah. Planco doesn't want you doing things like that.
Absolutely not. And he's done it multiple times, wow.
Good grief.
Spin, spin. I mean, it works for the theme. It works for the coaster.
It certainly does. It's getting used to spinning. Yeah.
Yeah. And another great example of someone building into the station itself. So kind of extending the queue into here as well, which is Another great touch, and wow, what a feature wall this is.
Yeah, I like this. It pairs really well with the other station with the cogs. It's still got that ominous ticking sound, but this one's got maybe more of a sort of clockwork theme to it. Yeah, nice tie-in.
It reminds me of the opening scene from Back to the Future with all the clocks ticking and the cameras like panning across.
Yeah, I see that. That's a cool touch.
Nice. Let's do this. So I thought this was super fun, much like the previous coasters. It had a great track length, great interaction with all the different scenery, and completely on theme throughout. Multiple lift hills. The only thing I think I would have loved to see is maybe a use of the ride cam time machine and some interior lighting for the dark ride area. If I can get to it, my goodness. There we go. Yeah, if this was lit for night, which I just checked and it isn't, then switch to night to come in here and light up all the pipes really nicely, and then you go back to day as you go back outside. That would be my only criticism. Aside from that, it was good fun. It was a bit frantic, and yeah, but that's what a spinning coaster should be.
Yeah, you do want the frantic from the spinning, and so yeah, some of the turns are super fast and intense. So I kind of like that. These spinning coasters can be very family friendly, but this is more on the intense side, and it really throws itself into that second lift hill, which was a cool way to sort of shift the pace, I thought. Yeah, and also again smooth, had some really nice pops of airtime as it goes through, and fits into a tight space very smartly.
Transfer here potentially.
I believe it might be. Yeah,
lovely. Love those details, and again, it's in a perfect position as it would be to get that coaster off the tracks. So definitely. Lovely detail. So here we have the stacks. This is a lovely piece of TMTK and very steampunk. I don't know whether that was designed for this or not, or just very happy accident. But this is the renovated Swan. It's kept the main prominent angle on here. You still got the thing that I've forgotten the name of, where the beer goes down into the basement. Ooh, hello. I wasn't expecting that.
It's been made into quite a classy affair now.
Look at this, like a nice bistro.
Wowie zowie.
Nice fireplace. Got the iron girders. And look at this bar. Well, that's great. Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting there to be an interior through here, but there is. So hats off. We got yet another bathroom by the looks of things. Yep.
They love a custom bathroom. I respect the love of toilets.
Yeah, that's always my cutoff. It's like, no, I cannot be bothered. But look at this. It's a custom bathroom with a functioning window. I mean, you might want to frost that glass, but that's attention to detail, isn't it?
That is.
What's in here? Oh my goodness. This actually goes somewhere. Yeah, it stairs up to an empty second floor, but this is this is essentially a fully modelled building inside.
Absolutely. Wow.
I need to go across the rest of the park and go through every door and find out what's inside.
There's going to be something inside of everything. Amazing.
It looks like it, yeah, but I'll leave that up to you guys watching. Make sure to download these parks and take a wander around yourselves. But the only other thing that I think we've missed is right back at the entrance. Oh, we've got something here as well. What's this? Oh, is this? I think this might be the drop tower that I was just heading to anyway.
I see.
We're going down deep.
So underground drop tower. That's a nice feature.
I didn't think it was this far down.
Whoa, this is a mine shaft.
This is very reminiscent of a game. It's a very like a cult game at this point, and all it is you. That terrified the shit out of me. I'm sorry. I was not expecting someone to just come around that corner. Okay. Yeah, there's a game. It's a horror game. You just keep going downstairs, but it's really spooky. Anyway, I don't know if that's based on that at all. Okay. But yeah, that is our drop tower. This is the exit, and we've got a lift there as well. Wow. Yeah. Creepy AF. The stairwell is. I'm going to be honest.
It's a very unique take on the drop tower to have it entirely underground, and yeah, based on how much was visible from ground level, I didn't think it would be that far down. Because still. Oh right, yeah, it's still got a decent amount out the top. Okay.
Yeah. But that's obviously coming out of the hole that was for the dive coaster, so really great reuse of that.
Yeah, I think that's the only non-coaster usage that I've seen of the hole. I love it when people keep it and try to make some sort of new use out of it. That's a good way to just give a nice new edge on the park.
A great use of the hole. See a hole, stick something in it. I'm not going to say that again.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Okay.
Cut that one out.
Moving on.
Goodbye, Radyr Valley, I think is how you say that. So I thought this was a brilliant retheme of Radyr Valley. It did exactly what I asked. You've still got the initial layout from Radyr Valley, but completely transforming it to the point that I did feel so immersed that I kind of lost my bearings, which is exactly what you want to feel. And the attention to detail with so much of this park. The coasters were great. A big shame about the Infinity, but because I do feel like that was probably going to be one of the key attractions. But aside from that, thoroughly enjoyed this park.
Yeah, I think especially now that I look at it, across from the air, one thing I really appreciate about it is that even though it's a high piece count park with a theme that is industrial and built up, it doesn't feel oppressive and sort of condensed. It still retains quite a light, open air sense to it. It doesn't feel overwhelming, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Even though it still manages to commit to the theming with some pretty substantially big buildings and set pieces. So I think it strikes quite a fine balance there.
I'd like to say a huge thank you to Cockwaddle for joining me today. Make sure you keep tabs on your favourites ready for the public vote after all submissions have been showcased. Don't forget to like this video, not only to support me, but to show some love to today's creator. Catch you in the next one.